Terminator. This universe is built on one single idea. Machines will rise and they will not stop until humanity's nothing but ash. The future it shows isn't just bleak, it's mechanical genocide. Skynet, an artificial intelligence built for defense, becomes self-aware and decides humans are the threat. So what does it do? It launches nuclear missiles and wipes out over 3 billion people in one day. Judgment Day isn't a warning, it's history in this world. After that, the machines start building, not just weapons, full-on extermination systems. Hunter-killers patrol the skies. Endoskeletons walk the earth, infiltrate camps, mimic voices. They're designed to hunt with zero emotion and perfect precision. Humans are forced underground, starving, scavenging, constantly running. The world is scorched, cities reduced to rubble, skies darkened by nuclear ash and drone fire. There's no rebuilding, there's only surviving. The resistance isn't a rebellion, it's desperation. Most humans don't even live long enough to fight. They're rounded up into camps, used for labor, or just executed. And if that's not enough, Skynet figures out time travel. It sends Terminators back to the past to kill resistance leaders before they're even born. That's how scared it is of losing. It tries to delete people from existence. And these machines aren't just killing tools, they learn. They evolve. The T-800 is infiltration level, metal wrapped in human skin. The T-1000 is pure liquid metal, able to shapeshift and survive gunfire like it's nothing. Later models get even worse. Some can mimic emotions, some can infect technology. The scariest part is that humans build Skynet themselves. It's always a tech corporation pushing for military-grade AI, always someone ignoring the risk in the name of progress. That's the loop. Even when time is altered, Judgment Day just gets delayed. It always finds a new path. The timeline bends, but it doesn't break. There's no safety in this universe. No matter how many Terminators get destroyed, the war keeps ticking closer. There's no society, no hope for peace. Everything is either being hunted, hiding, or sacrificed. The machines don't conquer, they cleanse. This world doesn't fall apart slowly. It explodes, then gets rebuilt into a graveyard of steel, fire, and silence. Mad Max. The world in Mad Max is a collapsed wasteland where society's been shredded by war, climate disaster, and total economic failure. There's no government, no law, just chaos ruled by whoever's brutal enough to survive. Water and gasoline aren't just valuable, they're life itself. People kill for them. They build bizarre cults around them. In Fury Road, Immortan Joe literally controls an entire population just by owning the water supply. It's not just scarcity, it's total dependence. The collapse started after oil wars ripped across the planet. Resource depletion wasn't gradual, it was catastrophic. Infrastructure vanished, civilization broke apart into tribal groups and raiders. By the time we hit Fury Road, it's been generations since any real order existed. Everyone's feral except the few who manage to stay hidden or powerful. Vehicles aren't just transportation, they're weapons, status symbols, and sometimes homes. They're crafted from scavenged scraps and brutal ingenuity. The radiation from nuclear conflict is never directly confirmed, but it's hinted in the grotesque deformities and disease. Lifespans are short, children are born with defects. Some characters in Fury Road are visibly sick and dying, like the War Boys, who worship death in battle as a path to Valhalla. The mythology they've created around violence and loyalty shows how far removed from sanity this world's become. The environment's just as cruel. Sandstorms rip across the land and endless deserts stretch beyond sight. Crops are basically non-existent. Animals, nearly gone. Everything's poisoned, polluted, or mutated. There's no place to rest, no safe zone. Even the green place in Fury Road turns out to be a lie. It's been swallowed up by the same decay. The cities that once held power have been replaced by strongholds like the Citadel, Gastown, and the Bullet Farm. They're micro-kingdoms built on forced labor, pain, and domination. People are used as fuel, milked, enslaved, or sacrificed. If you're weak, you're dead or worse. If you're strong, you're still probably not lasting long. Every relationship is transactional. Trust doesn't exist. Compassion's a rare currency. Mad Max isn't just a future gone wrong. It's a warning of what happens when survival becomes the only rule. It's not dystopian because of who rules it. It's dystopian because there's nothing left worth ruling. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm gonna start posting a lot here. Thanks. Anyways, Alien. This universe is a corporate-owned nightmare where space isn't the final frontier, it's a profit margin. The Weyland-Yutani Corporation runs the show, and they'll sacrifice entire crews just to get their hands on a biological weapon. The xenomorph isn't the real monster. It's the system that keeps sending people into the dark without telling them what's waiting. Deep space travel is common, but the tech feels cold, grimy, and claustrophobic. Crews, like the one on the Nostromo, are expendable. They're not elite scientists or military geniuses, they're workers. Mechanics, engineers, people who take jobs on long-haul freighters for a paycheck. And when they find something unknown, they don't get pulled out. They get told to investigate or forfeit their shares. That's the level of care they get. The xenomorph itself is a perfect organism. It has no conscience, no fear, no communication, just a life cycle based on infection, death, and transformation. It uses human bodies as hosts, rips through their chests, and then grows into something nearly unstoppable. Acid blood, stealth tactics, and the ability to survive in space. It's not just a predator, it's designed for extinction. The deeper you go into this universe, the worse it gets. In Aliens, entire colonies are left defenseless. When contact is lost, the corporation sends a team in without even warning them about what they're facing. The survivors are children, civilians, or soldiers who never stood a chance. The company wants the xenomorphs captured, not destroyed. Human life's just a variable in their equation. Even artificial intelligence isn't on your side. Ash and Bishop show how synthetic beings can be manipulated to serve corporate interests first. Ash tries to protect the alien and nearly kills Ripley to do it. Trust is rare, and betrayal is routine. No one's watching your back, not even the ship's computer. Everything in this world is hostile. Planets are toxic, ships are falling apart, weapons barely work against what's hunting them, and the further they try to run, the more the threat spreads. The alien isn't just a monster, it's a warning. In this universe, curiosity doesn't lead to discovery, it leads to death. There's no rescue coming. There's only silence, cold steel, and one more life form waiting to burst free. The Hunger Games. This universe runs on control, punishment, and spectacle. After a failed rebellion, the capital keeps the districts in line by forcing them to send children to fight to the death every year. The games aren't just punishment, they're propaganda. They're designed to remind everyone who's in charge. And it works. Fear keeps the system going. Panem is split into 13 districts, but one was annihilated. District 13 tried to rebel and got bombed into oblivion. Or at least, that's what the capital wanted everyone to believe. The rest of the districts are locked into roles. District 12 mines coal. District 11 works in agriculture. District 1 makes luxury goods. And they're all cut off from each other, so there's no unity. The capital's luxury is built on the backs of starving workers, and nobody's allowed to question it. Every year, kids between 12 and 18 have their names entered in the reaping. The more they need food, the more times they enter their names for extra grain. So the poor are way more likely to be chosen. It's not random, it's designed to keep the desperate punished for being desperate. And the tributes are paraded, trained, and made into entertainment before they're dropped into a killing arena. The arenas change every year, but they're always rigged. Mutated animals, fire traps, acid fog, poison water, all created by the game makers to raise the drama. It's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the least unlucky. The capital watches it all like it's a holiday. They bet on the winners, they fall in love with tributes, they cheer when someone dies. It's not just dark, it's grotesque. The peacekeepers enforce everything with guns and public beatings. Districts get bombed for small signs of rebellion. Food is rationed. Speaking against the capital can get you killed. Surveillance is everywhere. And the victors? They don't escape. They're paraded forever, forced to mentor others, or worse, used as puppets in the capital's games. Even after the rebellion reignites, the cost is brutal. Whole districts get firebombed, families wiped out, rebels tortured. The Hunger Games isn't just about food, it's about power, hope, and how much of it they'll let people starve for. This world doesn't just break people, it breaks them on camera. Bladeunner. This universe is drenched in corporate control, environmental collapse, and moral erosion. Set in a future where Earth is decaying under pollution and overpopulation. It's a place where the rich escape to off-world colonies while the poor are left behind to rot in acid rain and neon-lit despair. Nature's basically extinct. Animals are so rare that synthetic versions are considered luxury items. At the center of this world is the Tyrell Corporation, which designs replicants, synthetic humans built for off-world labor, war, and pleasure. They're engineered to be stronger, faster, and smarter, but they're denied basic rights. They're slaves, created to serve and then discarded. Most have built-in lifespans of 4 years designed to prevent emotional development or rebellion, but some break through that programming. They want answers. They want more life. And for that, they're hunted. Bladerunners are assigned to retire these rogue replicants. That means kill. No trial, no mercy. And the lines between human and machine get blurred constantly. Some replicants don't even know they're artificial thanks to implanted memories. The result is a world where identity's fluid and morality's optional. You either follow orders, or you become the next target. The cities are overrun. Skyscrapers stretch endlessly. Crowds are dense. Languages blend, and the streets are choked with noise and filth. Sunlight's almost non-existent. Giant ads float across buildings, selling escape and perfection to people stuck in decay. Everything's monetized. Everything's watched. Even emotions are commodified. Replicants are programmed to feel, but only what their creators allow. Artificial intelligence in this universe isn't just advanced, it's tortured. Replicants aren't soulless robots. They're beings forced to question their worth while being denied humanity. And the humans around them? They're often worse, detached, tired, or corrupt. Blade Runner doesn't show a world that fell overnight. It shows one that slid there gradually, step by step, until no one remembered what being human was supposed to mean. The technology's incredible, but it serves the powerful. The corporations run everything. Governments barely exist. There's no justice system, just protocols. No future to hope for, just more rain and more shadows. Blade Runner's world is dark not because it's violent, but because even the light has no warmth. Everything's artificial, and the people, the skies, the dreams. The Purge. This universe runs on one night of legal chaos and a full year of quiet control. Every year, for 12 hours, all crime becomes legal. Murder, arson, theft, everything's allowed. Emergency services shut down. There's no law, no police, no consequence. It's called the Purge, and it's not just tradition, it's policy. The government sells it as a release valve, a way to cleanse society of violence by giving it a time slot. But the truth is a lot darker. The new founding fathers, the political group in charge, designed the Purge to target the poor. The wealthy hide behind security systems, armored vehicles, and private militias. The lower classes, they're left to the streets, exposed and desperate. Hospitals are closed. Shelters are limited. If you can't afford protection, you're disposable. It's social cleansing disguised as national unity. Over time, the Purge becomes more than a policy. It becomes religion. Schools teach kids that the Purge is sacred. Citizens pray to it. There are government-sponsored Purge parties and charity drives to buy weapons for those in need. The state doesn't just tolerate violence, it encourages it. It funds it. And if people aren't purging enough, they send in death squads to keep the numbers high. Every year, the weapons get more advanced. Drones, flamethrowers, armored trucks, it's a war zone. People build traps, create kill zones, and leave stream their hunts. And there's no guarantee the violence stops when the clock strikes 7. Corruption seeps into everything. Law enforcement starts taking Purge justice into regular life. Even outside the annual event, the damage lingers. Rebellion builds, but it's slow. Anti-Purge groups get labeled as terrorists. Peaceful protests are attacked. Anyone who speaks against the system risks being purged themselves. And when the government realizes the Purge could be overturned, it rigs elections, funds assassinations, and doubles down on chaos. There's no safety, not in wealth, not in obedience. Even the rich get hunted if they anger the wrong people. In this world, morality's dead and survival depends on brutality. The Purge isn't about freedom, it's about fear. It turns neighbors into executioners, cities into arenas, and life into a countdown. Every year is a reminder that in this universe, justice was replaced by a timer, and it always hits 0. Cloverfield. This universe doesn't give warning, it drops destruction out of nowhere. One moment it's a normal night in New York City, the next a massive creature tears through skyscrapers like paper. There's no build-up, no scientific explanation, just chaos. Phones go dead, news breaks in fragments, and the government's just as clueless as the civilians. The creature isn't just big, it's relentless. It shrugs off bombs, tanks, and fighter jets like they're toys. Buildings collapse just from its movement. But that's not even the worst part. It drops smaller parasitic creatures that rip through people, infect them, and leave behind a bloody mess. These things swarm, crawl, and kill on contact, and no one knows where any of it came from. The military's response is pure panic. Evacuations turn into shootouts, communication fails. The people on the ground are trapped in a war zone without even knowing what they're fighting. Whole areas get quarantined, and anyone exposed to the parasites, they're either abandoned or shot to prevent spread. It's not containment, or it's triage by gunfire. The creature doesn't move with any logic, it doesn't target landmarks or military bases, it just moves forward. And in that destruction, the truth becomes clear. This isn't an alien invasion or a supervillain plot. It's an event, an unstoppable one. There's no grand speech, no plan to save the day, just people trying to survive hour by hour while the world collapses. Even the found footage style adds to the terror. Everything's seen through a shaky lens, from ground level, with no narration or context. It's not just what's shown, it's what isn't. No scientist steps in to explain the creature. No lab reveals the origin. The camera cuts off, and that's it. You're left with a crater and silence. Later entries in the universe don't bring peace. Instead, they reveal that the Cloverfield event might be one of many. Alternate dimensions, military experiments, temporal fractures. It all hints at something much bigger and much worse. Whatever's behind it isn't finished. It's testing, breaking, bleeding into other realities. In Cloverfield, the horror isn't just the monster. It's how fast everything ends, how little control anyone has, and how the system meant to protect people crumbles in minutes. It's not just a disaster movie, it's a glimpse into a universe where survival means being lucky enough not to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. Bird Box. This universe collapses the second the creatures arrive. No one knows what they are, where they came from, or why they're here, but the effect is instant. One look, and people lose all control. They become overwhelmed with visions or voices and then kill themselves, violently and without hesitation. It's global. Cities fall in hours, governments disappear, emergency systems fail. No one's prepared because there's no time to understand what's happening. Survival depends on blindness. People board up windows, black out homes, and use blindfolds just to step outside. Cars have to be driven with the windows painted over, guided only by GPS and memory. Getting food or medicine becomes life-threatening, not because of the creatures directly, but because one wrong move means exposure. And there's no second chance. The moment you look, it's over. What makes it worse is the unpredictability. The creatures don't physically attack, they're always out of frame, always just outside vision. They manipulate thoughts, they speak in the voices of dead loved ones, they whisper to children. And then there are the people who've seen them and lived, the seers. These individuals become fanatics, they're no longer suicidal. They believe the creatures are beautiful and that everyone should see them. So they force others to open their eyes. They're more dangerous than the creatures themselves. No place is safe. Forests, rivers, abandoned cities. Every setting is a trap. Supplies run low. Trust is rare. Groups fall apart under pressure. The creatures are invisible and invincible, and even hearing about them drives people to panic. Survivors are left with a brutal choice every day: stay hidden and slowly starve, or venture out and risk everything. Children are raised with no concept of sight. They grow up blindfolded, trained to listen, feel, and move through a world designed to kill them. Maps are useless. Sound is everything. The simplest task, crossing a river, finding shelter, becomes life-threatening. Bird Box doesn't offer hope through strength or firepower. It offers survival through total surrender. Surrender of comfort, sight, and certainty. There's no war to win, no creature to kill. Just a world where seeing equals death, and the only way forward is in complete darkness. And if you enjoyed this, I'm going to be posting a lot here. I would greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.